What is up, Combination? Welcome into NBA DFS Live for Wednesday, January 15th. I'm your host, Ben Husser, joined by Justin Bales. We got Bales back today. Yesterday, we voted him off the island. We had Joey, but I don't know. Chat did not, they weren't feeling Joey. They voted him off. They said, get Bales back on here. So we flew
Good
him.
thinking. Good thinking, guys.
Yeah, we flew him back in. Now we got Bales back. But a lot going on this slate. We're going to get into that in a second. I do want to note that DraftKings confirmed earlier there will be XFL DFS. I have no idea um, about any of that right now. I would like to do something for it. For sure, if you guys are in our Discord, like we'll be talking about it in there. I don't know if I want to do like content or anything. We'll have to see. I do have a little bit extra time now that like actual NFL is over, so we'll have to see. But I do want to play it, and I'm excited for it. So we'll see what comes of that. But at least they confirmed it, so we know, at least like a month in advance that they're gonna have it. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. But Bales, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing good. You weren't on here yesterday, so I was talking about how I had like the worst like 4 day stretch ever. The Ravens got eliminated, right? And I had them plus 3,300 before the season to win the Super Bowl. They got eliminated. I had Seattle. Obviously, I bet Seattle, right?
I told you,
Yeah.
so I
They
don't
still
even
they still
feel
would have
bad.
covered. If they would have got that 2 point, they would have covered. So like it would have been fine. But they didn't get the 2 point conversion. They didn't cover. So that sucked. Then I had a bunch of money on Clemson, and
Stop going against me.
yeah, yeah, maybe that's what it is. I mean, I love Coach O. I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's from Ohio. Went to Ohio State for a while, so I was cool with that. But I don't know. I just thought like people were disrespecting Clemson when it moved to, a 6 point spread. Like they literally hadn't lost in 2 years, right?
Yeah, this smart thing was the smart play was Clemson, honestly, probably, but I was always going to go with LSU because Clemson's so overrated. It's just the way it is. I get that they haven't lost in that long, but they've played like 4 or 5 difficult games, whereas LSU's done that this year alone. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
like it's I don't
It
know.
doesn't help when they get guys thrown out for targeting, and then like they get OPI called on a touchdown that was not OPI, but that's just kind of how it goes. I think the game was over anyways when they scored that touchdown, so not like it would have mattered. But so that sucked. And then I got like washed. I was Monday night. I came in like last place, man, on like all my contests on DraftKings. I had like the worst 4 day stretch ever. But yeah, so we're back. It was fine last night. Kawhi and Pat Bev were low owned on DraftKings last night, and I was surprised about it, but they were pretty low owned. So I was happy with that. Tomorrow I have a free ticket. If you guys are watching this, I have no idea about the NHL other than Connor McDavid. That's the only thing I know. I don't know Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid. That's what I know. I don't know anything.
Sid
But I
Crosby.
yeah, is he even play still? I don't even think he plays.
Dude, yeah, he plays.
I have no
That,
idea.
that's like the one thing I know about
If
hockey, and I'm
if
starting to
there's like
question whether he even
hardcore,
plays.
yeah, if there's hardcore hockey fans in here, they're probably cringing. But dude, I don't know anything about hockey. Um, but I have a free ticket on FanDuel. There's like a $333 hockey contest tomorrow. I have a free ticket, so I'm gonna play some hockey tomorrow.
How did you
Um,
get that ticket?
I think I won it on basketball, and I won it on something. I don't know. Sometimes I'll just look through the lobby close to lock, and if there's like satellites that aren't,
For a
really
three
filled up,
hundred thirty-three
I'll
dollar
throw it in
hockey
there.
league.
It was only a $2 contest. Like I won it for $2, so
Oh,
it
that
wasn't that
never
bad.
mind.
It didn't fill up. Like they don't fill up. Like they have every day on FanDuel. There's a $2 satellite to this contest. It's 200 people, and every day it gets like 100 people. Like it's half full every day. So I
Oh,
just
that's not bad at
joined
all.
it one day and I won. So I'm gonna be playing some hockey tomorrow. I have no idea how to play hockey. I think you stack. I think it's like baseball and you just want to stack.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I have no clue. So if you know about hockey, Jacob said he's got me. Yeah, if you guys know about hockey, I need some help tomorrow because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But we'll get into basketball tonight. So there's a lot of injuries. I feel like I say that every day at this point, but um, obviously we still have Embiid out. So if you take the Sixers without Embiid, you get Tobias Harris 1.17 fantasy points per minute. Al Horford's also 1.17. Ben Simmons is 1.15, and then you have Josh Richardson who is around zero point 0.9, under a point, but he's relatively cheap. The usage is over 20% with him. And then we got this news that Jason Tatum is out. So what that does definitely affects the Celtics, but really bumps up Kemba in my opinion. Kemba's relatively affordable. He leads the team in point per minute production with Tatum off the floor 1.38. Actually, that's behind Cantor, but Kemba's uh, minute sample is a little bit bigger, and he has a 31% usage rate. Jaylen Brown's 1.04, Gordon Hayward's 1.01, and then you have Cantor 1.45. But I don't know, Cantor's not gonna play as many minutes as someone like Kemba Walker, so definitely bumps up the Celtics. Van Fleet's still out, so like Lowry gets a little bit of a bump, but they do have like Norman Powell back, so it's not as bad as when both of them were out. Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are both questionable, so I don't really know what to do about this because I don't know if we're going to get this news by the time lock comes for FanDuel because the game's at 9 o'clock. DraftKings, it's definitely going to be a night where you're going to have to stick around after lock if we don't have that news and monitor because if one or both of them are out, it's going to be tough not to play Monty Morris for cheap. Will Barton also would get a bump up. If both were out, we could see Beasley get some more run as well. But I mean, it's going to be tough not to play Morris if one of those guys is out for his price. So it might be a night that we're going to have to late swap. I think Porzingis is coming back tonight. Doesn't really. I mean, it bumps down Luca, but it's still Luca, and I don't really want to play Porzingis his first night back. I don't really know what we can expect from him. Anthony Davis got confirmed out. So obviously LeBron, if you take Anthony Davis and Rondo off the floor, LeBron's at a 39% usage rate with 1.71 fantasy points per minute. Kuzma's at I think 0.93 with well over 20% usage. JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard both are over 1.2 fantasy points per minute as well. And finally, I think really just like the Magic, they said Augustine's out confirmed. Michael Carter Williams is out confirmed. And they said that they would use backup point guard as a committee behind Fultz. And then they came out and said that Fournier's questionable. So I don't really know like what's going to go on here. I think Fultz is a really good play. I think Fournier is a good play if he plays. And I think Vooch is like a great play, obviously. But if Fournier is out as well, I mean, Fultz is going to have to play like almost the whole game. I don't really know. They really don't have many other people there. I guess like Ross could get some extra minutes as well. But that's going to be a weird situation if Fournier is out as well.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're at the point where like teams are just deciding that they don't want to play guys, and kind of for DFS, like it sucks because you're just like plugging guys in, and it gives you basically a 2v2 at the end of the night.
Yeah, definitely chalky. I mean, last night at DraftKings, there's a bunch of guys that were like 85% owned, so it's bad. But had to find an edge anyways. Are we going to get into the plays now that we're through injuries? Who are the cash players tonight? I had a great night last night. Glad that you had a good night. I'm going to get to the cash players right now. Is Brogdon a must play? Yeah, if Brogdon plays DraftKings, he's really cheap. FanDuel, I'm pretty sure he's pretty cheap as well. So it definitely would be an option if he's active. I mean, he's really cheap. Do not Google his name. Don't do that. We're not doing that. Have you ever done that where you like Google Evan Fournier? Like if you just Google Fournier?
No.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's gross though. It's like some thing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a thing that's called Fournier, right? So if you Google like Fournier, it just like comes up.
What do you mean, like a thing?
Google it right now, so we'll get a live reaction from you.
I'm not gonna do that.
T. Higgins declared for the draft, Bales. What's your instant reaction there?
I love T. Higgins. He's so good.
Where do you rank him among Judy and CeeDee Lamb? Third?
Yeah, probably third. I mean, for me, Judy's one. I think Higgins would be third. CeeDee Lamb's two.
I think CeeDee and Judy's like a legit like debate.
No, I don't. I like Judy a lot more. I mean, I see why people debate them, but
about that. All right. Anyways, let's get to the plays. Point guard. I was gonna say Ben Simmons is probably the best point guard play, but that was before Tatum was out. Like Kemba, I think is the clear guy that you want here, and you want to start with cash. I mean, he's obviously really good per minute wise with Tatum out. He's a good bit cheaper than Simmons, so I still think Simmons is in play for cash games, especially on DraftKings where you can use him at multiple positions. But I think Kemba's my number one. Simmons would be my number two. You also can use LeBron at point guard, who is one of the best plays on the slate with Davis out. And that's really the guys I was focusing on for cash. I guess you could throw in Fultz as well with the Magic injuries, but um, I don't know. Like, I really would want to get Kemba in as of now. And then for tournaments, I think you can just pivot to guys that are similarly priced to Simmons and Kemba, which De'Aaron Fox, who's been like absolutely on fire, I think is a great play. Lowry to an extent, but I would still have Lowry behind Kemba and Simmons both. Dame, I think, is interesting against Houston at 9K, but I think for tournaments, and then you have Brogdon as well, who we talked about, is really cheap. But I think it's really cash, Kemba, Simmons, and then I like Fox in GPPs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll just add, I will personally play Monte Morris regardless. Like, I don't care if Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are playing because Morris is still going to play around 20 minutes, and realistically, he can exceed value at that. And if we don't get news beforehand, like not his ownership's going to be down a bit because people aren't going to want to risk it on the slate. And just under 4K, he won't kill you even if both of them are active. So I would add him, and I would add Dennis Schroeder. He just comes with a lot of upside. Realistically, Chris Paul. Chris Paul's like a really safe option. So both of them, I think, also make sense at point guard tonight.
Yeah, Morris for sure. I would like to know those guys are out, but Morris for sure is in play. And I don't disagree. I don't disagree on Chris Paul. I just would. I don't know. I don't really like to play Chris Paul at this point.
You're just against Chris Paul.
Well, I've been playing SGA all season. Now SGA is like $1,000 more, so it's a little bit more of like a conversation. But I understand. I mean, dude, SGA, what he did in that last game, what did he do? 2010?
20, I think 2020, 11, maybe it was 2010. He was the youngest player ever to have a triple-double with 20 boards. He broke Shaq's record.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. He's really fun to watch. I was really high on him coming out. Um, I I don't know. I really wanted the Cavs to draft him, but they took Sexton, and I want to like Colin Sexton, but that just looks like it was a bad choice. It looks like
I
they should have
mean,
taken SGA.
coming out though, like Colin Sexton, if you remember the draft, was like clearly a better prospect than SGA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't really fault them for that or anything, but I like Sexton. I just think SGA seems like he's starting to play at another level.
Yeah. Bogdanovich out and Bagley on a minutes limit. Who gets the bump? Yeah. I mean, Bagley's still probably usable even on his minutes limit because he's going to play and he's good enough to do something in those minutes. He's going to keep his ownership down. With Bogdan out, I mean, I'm assuming it bumps up like Buddy a little bit. Ariza probably will get some extra minutes. Ariza's not really a guy that, I'd think of for like a huge ceiling, but he is cheap and he could provide like a pivot off of some of the other cheap guys that are going to be more popular. So you can maybe look at Ariza. Bielitsa, I mean, is still a good play just because Holmes is out, even with, because of Bagley being on that minutes limit. I think Bielitsa played 30, 32, 33 minutes in the last game. So his price is up, but I don't have any problems with him. The Kings as a whole are just a weird team, but
Yeah.
Kyrie, I'm kind of what is your take on Kyrie? I'm kind of hesitant, not because it's Kyrie, just because it's back to back. But yeah, he is really cheap. He asked why is Kyrie so cheap? He's definitely really cheap. I think it's more just because he's been out for so long and he just came back. And even though he just came back, he hasn't had one of those slates where he's just massive chalk. So the sites haven't been inclined to bump his price up because nobody has been playing him, even though he's cheap. But it is a back to back. I think it's his first one since coming back, so I'm a little hesitant with that.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to play Irving tonight, but like if you want to take your shot, feel free because he's way
I
too
don't
cheap
have
for
it.
his
Like,
upside.
if you want to play Kyrie instead of someone like Lowry or Lillard, I don't have any problems with that.
The only thing is like he plays Philly. Like it's not like he gets a good matchup or anything.
Yeah, I don't mind it for tournaments. Is Vucevic for cash or tournaments? I think as of now, Probably tournaments, but I don't know. I mean, if Fournier is out, I don't know what the numbers specifically are. With I think I checked earlier. If you take all the guys out for the Magic tonight, it's a really small sample size, so you can't really draw anything from it. But I mean, he's just gonna have to do so much offensively, and I don't expect him to be high owned on the slate. So I think he's a really good tournament play. Shooting guard, Dennis Schroeder, who you mentioned at point guard, I think is a really strong play at his price. He's got 30 or more minutes in 12 of his last 14, and one of the games that he did not get 30, it was 29. So he's getting a lot of run. No problems with him for his price. Buddy Hield, I think, is underpriced relative to his ceiling. Like Josh Richardson's someone that I expect to be pretty highly owned at this position because there's not a ton of guys that you're looking at. But Buddy Hield is similarly priced, and I think has like a higher ceiling than Richardson, right? So I would rather play Buddy, I think, even in cash, especially if Richardson's going to be high owned. I'm comfortable making the pivot to Buddy in cash if Richardson's going to be chalk, but that's not to say Richardson's a bad play. It's just he's the fourth best play to me on his own team, so I'm not super inclined to play him in cash games. And then for tournaments, I mean Harden, I just don't think anyone's going to play on this slate. He was really highly owned last night. Obviously, Russ is back. Anytime you get a slate where someone's like 80% owned and then the next night they're not ignored, but they're going to be 3x less that ownership, I'm definitely interested in him in tournaments.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you can add Jaylen Brown. Makes a whole lot of sense. If you want to go cheaper, Jarrett Culver is a little too cheap. If he's seeing 30 minutes and Karl Anthony Towns is out again, he's just leagues. And then Matisse Thybulle is only 3,500 and should see minutes in the mid 20s. Not really a great player or anything, but he does get a matchup against Brooklyn. And he's just super cheap. So I think you can take your shot there if you want.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Matt asked any of the Bulls guards you like tonight. I mean, I think if you're going to play any of them, it's Levine, right? Like, I know he's over 9K, but the Wizards are just so bad. And I mean, if anything, the price is just going to keep his ownership down. Like, I like to be overweight again, like to teams playing the Wizards, but I don't know. The Bulls guard situation is not super clear outside of Levine. Like I would play Levine. I think Thad Young is a fine play.
Are we not going to talk about the Satoransky revenge game?
Yeah, I was about. Yeah, he does have a revenge game. I don't know, but
he's also 6,000.
Yeah, that's
like
the price is
what?
just like how can you play Satoransky over someone like Buddy Hield or yeah, I mean even Richardson at that point.
I mean, you just got to take you got to shoot your shot.
Chris Paul's 66 on DraftKings, right?
2020, just shoot your shot at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I would play Levine in GPPs, but I don't know. I don't really want to touch the other guys.
That's about where I'm at too.
Yeah, I don't know. The price is just gross. Small forward, obviously LeBron. LeBron's like one of the best plays on the slate at this point. You're probably going to want to get him in cash games as like a building block. I'm sure he'll be in my core section in my building blocks article. Okay, he said Satoransky's 48 on FanDuel. That's a little bit better. I can get behind that. Yeah.
That's fine then.
48 on FanDuel's fine. DraftKings, I can't pay 6K for him. But yeah, I don't mind that at 4,800 at all. But LeBron's really strong. Tobias Harris is a really strong play. Gordon Hayward, Josh Richardson, a lot of the same guys that we've been talking about. I think that's kind of the cash range. And then for tournaments, I keep looking at Melo. Little revenge game for Melo against Houston.
Yeah, I have no problems there. You pretty much outlined it. Did you say Gordon Hayward? I think you did.
Yeah. LeBron, Harris, Hayward, Richardson. I think that's like the cash pool for me at small forward.
Yeah. Then, I mean, if you want to add just two guys, I'll add Trevor Ariza and Harrison Barnes. Both get good matchups against Dallas. Harrison Barnes revenge game here.
Yeah.
So
Ariza, especially with Bogdan out, like people are not going to play Trevor Ariza. I don't mind that at all.
And for 4,200, like, does Ariza lack the pure ceiling of other guys? Absolutely. But he scored 30 plus in 3 of his last 4. And for 4,200, like, that is way more than you possibly need.
Yeah.
So, I mean, between Barnes and Ariza, both are going to play 30 plus minutes. Both make a whole lot of sense. Just because of the way Dallas plays, you can score a ton of fantasy points against them.
Yeah, we're kind of talking myself into some Ariza, but we'll have to see. Power
Keep
forward.
it going.
Yeah. Oh my God. Power forwards, a lot of the same guys you could play at small forward. Tobias Harris, Gordon Hayward, I think are both strong plays there. Al Horford, who you can also use at center. But really want to get Horford in with Embiid out, I think, for cash games, especially, given his matchup. And then for some cheaper guys, Thad Young, who I mentioned against Washington, and then Cody Zeller, I mean, it's just so cheap. I feel like I
Yeah,
have to consider him. Like, I don't
I
know if
was
I want to play him in cash, but he's so cheap, man.
I was also thinking about that earlier. I was like, do you play him in cash? Because
Yeah,
if
it's a
like
legit
if he's getting like
conversation.
25 minutes, I
Yeah,
feel like he's easily gonna hit value. Like I don't trust him to get the minutes is the problem.
yeah, I know it's just so cheap. And he obviously, I'm sure he's gonna grade out well in projection systems just because of his price. I don't know. It's
That
it's it's a conversation, I think, but
that's how I feel about Mike Scott. Like he's so cheap, but he's just so bad too.
I he won me a bunch of money early in the season. Like a couple times when Embiid was out earlier and no one played him, he actually like that one game he just went ham in the first quarter. It's insane. He was not high owned, but yeah, he's not great. All I remember Mike Scott for is he was on Atlanta back in like I don't know 2014, 2015, and the Hawks like argument for having Mike Scott was he's gonna stop LeBron in the playoffs when they play the Cavs. Like I'll never forget that. Mike Scott was supposed to be the LeBron stopper. I will never forget that. Do you
I
like
mean,
add a bio tonight? For tournaments, I don't really have it. Like I would play Vooch over him, I think personally, but you can use Bam in tournaments any night, I think.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
But you think Mike Scott has any prayer of stopping LeBron in the playoffs?
I don't think there's a single player in the NBA that has stopping
uh,
LeBron in the playoffs.
the Cavs used to run through those Hawks teams, dude. Like it was bad. All right, we'll finish up with center. Like I said, Horford I think is the clear play here. Whiteside's always like a DK play for me because A, you can use two centers, and B, like he never gets like too expensive to where I like don't want to play him. And the matchup is really strong. Not really strong, but it's not a bad matchup for him. On the opposite side, though, I mean, we could see Capella have a pretty good game too. It hurts that Russ is back, but I mean, Whiteside is not good defensively, so I think anybody in that game's fine. In addition to Horford, both the Lakers bigs, McGee and Howard, I think are fine with Davis out. Vooch, who I mentioned, is a really strong tournament play, and then if you want another value play, it has to be Mahinmi. But I don't know. Would you play Mahinmi over either of the Lakers guys at this point?
I would think about it against Chicago.
Yeah, it's really close. Like the matchup's really good. So I don't know. I would have to really think
Yeah,
about that.
I won't say that. Yeah, I absolutely would, but I'll definitely consider it tonight.
The thing is, like, he's actually gotten minutes. Like his last two's 27, 31. He had 24 2 games before that. So the problem with Mahinmi is not really him. Like for fantasy, he can be good. It's just if he actually is on the court like longer than like 15 minutes.
On top of getting, against Chicago, like
Yeah.
he can if he gets 30 minutes against Chicago, he could drop 40 again. It's like it very well could happen.
Yeah, because it seems pretty much like McGee and Howard are pretty much going to split. Howard's had the big games, obviously. I mean, his
Yeah,
last
Howard has
two's
been
what
nuts.
38 and 44. I mean, he's been going off. Um, and he actually has the bigger sample size with 80 off. So I think I would lean Howard. I would probably rank them Howard, Mahinmi, McGee in that order, right?
I would probably do the same. Yeah.
But you just have to factor in that Howard's 55 and Mahinmi's what 48. So you do get
Yep.
some savings. But I still think I would lean Howard. Howard's just been going off, man.
Yeah, dude, Howard. I mean, he can't keep doing it, can he? Though, like he's shooting.
Yeah,
Didn't he shoot like 9 of 11 in his last game or something?
Yeah, 9 of 11. Game before that was what 4 of 8. I don't know.
Plus, on top of it, 2 of 3 and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. How often is this guy going to be shooting over 500?
Yeah. With the Spurs having a bigger front court, any thoughts on Myers in tournaments? Yeah, I don't mind that. I was gonna include him, but I was kind of deciding what other cheap guy. I just went with Mahimi, but Myers is really cheap, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, I thought about saying him too, but
Yeah, it's tougher to trust in cash, but if you want to like if you want to take like a chalky lineup and then sub out like 2 guys for some like lower owned guys, I definitely think you could include Leonard in that range of guys that you would consider. But I don't mind that. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna give away our cores for tonight, and then you can be sure to check out all the free content dfscover.com. I'll have article, final thoughts. Bales has articles. Bobby already has his game theory up, I believe. So lots of content on the site. We'll be in Discord, and obviously we'll have core plays for subscribers. So Bales, who is your 2 or 3 players you're building around tonight?
Yeah, I'll do mine for tournaments tonight. Monte Morris and Trevor Ariza.
All right, that gives you definitely some room to spend up. I
Yep.
would say LeBron for sure for me, Kemba Walker for sure for me, and then maybe Al Horford. That might be the 3 guys I would focus on. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. I'll update you guys on like XFL. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I do want to play it, and if I play it, I'm sure I will do something for it. But we will see in the coming days. Tomorrow's Thursday, small slate. I might get on stream though and just talk about nonsense since I'm gonna be playing this hockey lineup. Maybe we'll talk about some hockey. We'll talk about basketball. We'll talk about whatever. So I might stream tomorrow, and we'll just I don't know. We'll just kind of talk about whatever questions you guys have. We'll answer. But I'll see you guys then.